Is the beauty community over makeup? Or are they just getting overwhelmed by new releases? That's what we're going to talk about today as I'm trying on a bunch of new makeup that has hit the market recently. And we're going to discuss this. I'm going to do a lot of getting into the comment sections on new releases, and we're going to figure out what is the vibe right now in the makeup community, in the beauty community overall, because it feels like the makeup community may just be burnt out. The newest thing I'm currently obsessed with right now, but I'm burning through it real quick, is the Essence Hydra Kiss lip oil, but luckily it's only $4.99. I got the Clear Kiss from a Rose and I am loving how it applies and how well it lasts. I'm obsessed with this, but it's already like down to here because I've been using it pretty nonstop. I honestly got this idea from the shorts series that I've been doing about new releases and just seeing what people are saying about them. And I've just seen an overwhelming amount of people really being frustrated by a lot of the new releases. And that's what's led me to think, maybe we're just burnt out right now. Excuse me while I put these seashells in my hair. Specifically, recently I have been talking about the Wet n Wild release. This is their Bare Focus Niacinamide Skin Tint, and immediately all of the comments went straight into outrage, but for a very good reason. First thing I'm going to jump into is the new Ofra primer. This is the Glow and Grip, and girl, you only need a tiny amount. But this has become my new secret weapon to keep makeup on in the super hot, humid weather, like all day long. But again, do a very minimal amount, and it does not really fill pores, but it does a little bit. This stuff is really tacky, and it's going to make your skin glow under like even a very matte foundation. Something new that I got from Ofra, and I'm really excited to say I did finally get a code to save you guys money. Use my code Nichole for 20% off. I love that so much, I get a lot of Ofra, and I definitely want to give you guys the dirty details on these new releases. Like right now, I'm going to be very sticky tacky for a while, so I'm just going to let this absorb just real quick, and then I'm going to move on, but I don't know if this next new release is going to like what I have down. And the beauty community really got mad at Wet n Wild because the shade range on this new drop stinks. It just is terrible. There's no way to word it nicely because there are a zillion shades of pale. You could pick whatever flavor of pale you want, but there is not enough deep tones. There's a lot of red undertones. There's not a lot of variety. So people are really mad about it. And a lot of people are also saying the niacinamide is not a great endorsement because some people don't really, their skin doesn't work well with niacinamides. So that is where a lot of people have just been super frustrated with all of these big releases. If there's not a great shade range for everybody in 2024, honestly, they're just not having it, and I totally respect it. And don't get me wrong, we're in a skin tint moment. Like that's kind of what I was thinking I was gonna do today. But it's really hard to want to support a brand when they pull things like that. All right, the next thing is gonna bring me into talking about a brand that I really love, but people might be getting mad at e.l.f. quite a bit lately. So maybe I've been living under a rock, but are you mad at e.l.f.? I am going to be doing this in a totally different way. This is the Halo Glow Tube Contour. This is in medium tan. It's kind of dark for right now, but I knew the lighter shades. I already have that in other types of makeup, so I wanted something a bit deeper. I think this is supposed to be the dupe for, is it Charlotte Tilbury? I have only tried this once in a different way, like on top of a foundation, and today I'm gonna get a little crazy, as you can see, because we're gonna be testing some other new makeup and I wanna see how they all play together. So this could be a huge disaster, quite honestly. We'll figure it out together. But again, me saying that this is a dupe product, like the affordable option, if you will, a lot of people are getting mad. e.l.f. had a brand new drop released on Trend Mood, the Brow Laminating Gel. It's a stronghold brow gel that sculpts and shapes and sets for this laminated look. And people are really mad, and other people are confused why everybody's so mad, because it's kind of been known for a while that e.l.f. does do some dupes. I feel like still they have their own, I don't know, they have done a lot of dupes, it's true, for years now, but they've also have their own audience, I feel like. So it's not just about being a copycat in my mind. I feel like maybe they've been leading too heavily into the dupes, because the comments are saying things like, another dupe, are we surprised anymore? And then other people defending it, saying e.l.f. is literally a dupe brand. Why would you see anything different? I guess I've never considered e.l.f. a dupe brand directly. Like, I think of Makeup Revolution as a dupe brand. This is just because I remember when e.l.f. was like $1, $2, very inexpensive. This is looking very fun. We're gonna get real into this today. And I just remember when they released their own makeup that wasn't exactly dupes, or I mean, there's always been like a whisper of it potentially, but now it feels a little bit more obvious because it's become more of a factor with other brands as well. But even other people are saying $8 versus $32.50. I'm not mad at it because people want an affordable option, especially in this economy. Actually, I'm really liking how this e.l.f. product is applying. I do not have the original version to be able to compare it to, but I've tried this 2 different ways now, and I think this spreads beautifully. Since I have such a sticky primer on right now, I did not know how well this was going to work, and it's actually blended in really beautifully. Yes, it is a little too dark for me right now, and the sun has gone away because it's a rainy day here, but we're gonna make it work. I like playing with this so far, so thank you all for making an affordable version. I know not a lot of people love drugstore, and that's totally okay too, but I could see the people that really can't afford the very high-end things wanting just as good a quality of product. I understand it. I am hearing though, there is a little bit more obviousness with the dupes that e.l.f. has been doing. Somebody even mentioned, I love a good dupe, but at this point they're stealing the product and the packaging and not even putting any of their own ideas into it, and that just feels slimy to me. And that's where I think I kind of agree, because let's be serious, when people were duping those really exciting like eyeshadow palettes and things like that back in like the 2016, 2017 era, we were all really mad about it because we were like, don't steal from other creators. And that is what e.l.f.'s been doing even more and more, it feels like. So tell me what you're thinking about this whole, is this dupe ethical now? Is this, are we borderlining on no longer ethical in the least? Is there any pride in their work? So tell me what you're thinking about that as far as e.l.f. and maybe any other dupe brands go. I am going to be popping into the One Size blush over here in the creamy shade that I recently got from a Luxe box and I reviewed for you. I do feel like I'm being a little bit more glam today with trying on a lot of these products because usually I've been a little bit more natural, but you know, when in Rome, we want to try some makeup, and I do want to just figure out, are we still loving makeup the same way we used to, or are these products genuinely now created to be more minimal, to be with less makeup on the face? Because it feels like I'm seeing 2 different scenarios going on in the makeup community right now. Some people are saying how much they miss the glam makeup, and mostly I think it's more like millennial generations, Gen X and older, really being like, man, I want to see some bold makeup back. But then there's the people that have just been seriously loving the natural girl look that maybe either one, never got into the full 2016, 2017 glam makeup, or some people are just liking the less is more approach. Because I know I have been definitely layering way less, doing less. For example, Cali Ray is a brand that I have actually really liked their skin tint. And I feel like their skin tint is something that I can trust to give me just enough coverage, but make my skin glowy, all of the nice things. Well, they just came out with another liquid bronzer, and we have been seeing an influx of liquid bronzers since essentially the Drunk Elephant. I do have the Sunny Glow from Pacifica. e.l.f. of course came out with their version. I think NYX may have their own version now, and now Cali Ray has the Sun Drip. So this is very similar to all of these. So if you have these, more than likely you don't need the latest version of, unless you're just loving that brand. The first comment I saw from Jasmine was, please, no more liquid bronzers. And then Chanel below that was like, do all these brands always know about their launches? I notice brands launching the same types of products at the same time. Or what I'm noticing is it's slightly staggered. It's similar time frames, but slightly staggered. So it's just overwhelming as a consumer. And that's why I sit here and think, if you're following Trend Mood, if you're following my videos and other videos, more than likely you associate a bit more with the makeup community than just the casual jump into the drugstore, grab, you know, that same product that you've been out of and just go on about your day. Is this like just overconsumption and just too much? I understand why at that point it's also like, now all brands are copying each other, which is similar to what we were just saying about e.l.f. in a way, how they are copying, but being down to the packaging identical. So these are just more like, hey, is this on trend? Let's follow the trend. Do they actually make money off those SKUs? I really wonder, just because we are now talking about same product over and over again, and are they really waiting for your particular brand to drop that exact same thing? I don't know. You waiting on this particular drop? It just kind of started up a conversation in my mind that I wanted to share with you guys and get your point of view. Somebody else just said, please end it with the liquid bronzers. We are so tired. I'm just not seeing a lot of love for this. Somebody else just said, man, I thought it was going to be a foundation, so I got my hopes up for nothing. Yeah, when you start to copy at that point, it's just kind of like, where is the originality? Where are we wanting our makeup to go? And are brands reading any of these comments? I don't know, but maybe people are excited about it, and I just don't know that they're fine with having this many options on the market for the same type of product. You know what I'm saying? It just gets to this point of overwhelm, and that's where I'm like, are we burnt out? Are we just out of original ideas too? Before I get into this next new release, I have to say the same brand that I just purchased, the Natasha Denona High Glam Powder Foundation, I am not honestly sure if this is going to go well on top of all these creams and very sticky primer I have on. So I have two different options going. I have the pad that I have used before, and it actually worked out really well. I talked about that in a recent video. Check that out up here. Or I also have a brush on deck. I think I'm gonna start with the brush, because this has surprised me before, but this could really get bad really quickly. But I honestly want to see, because of the products that we've been getting on the market, things that the beauty community is serving is a lot of creams. With this powder foundation, I wanna see, will it work with all of the products that have been very creamy and liquidy over the past few years? So this could go bad, this could be great. We're gonna learn something either way, starting with the brush. The latest drop that just came out while I'm filming this is the Natasha Denona Golden Collection. I'm not gonna lie, this actually looks really pretty, but Natasha Denona is super duper pricey. Now, I said a lot of people don't buy drugstore because they love high-end. We have the exact same, where some people don't ever buy high-end, or rarely do, because they love drugstore. Also, prices are going up everywhere, as we know. I'm really shocked that this is not bunching anywhere right now. So I might switch over to the other sponge real quick just to do a little comparison. I'll just do it on this side so we have something to compare to. I'm seeing a lot of love for the palette. I mean, the palette does look gorgeous, doesn't it? And if you love Natasha Denona shadows, that's definitely something that would fit beautifully into the collection of anything you already have. Okay, I will say I'm still like tapping on the product just on the side, and I'm still feeling, oh, not up here so much. Down here, I'm still feeling a touch of tact from the primer, but you definitely see that you could get this pretty full coverage. And over here's a lot more natural, but you could still see some of the bronzer and the blush. Okay. Actually, I may just do half and half today just to experiment for funsies. Okay, and then I'm also seeing 9 shades are repeats from the gold palette. And then there's a comment below that saying, exactly, many people wanted the golden palette in the mini form. So yeah, I think this is great. People love Natasha. I love Natasha, hence why I did spend 55 of my own dollars on this foundation, because I did want a option in my collection that I thought would help make everything look great, especially as the summer can make me a bit on the oily side. Okay, so I find this fascinating. Again, leaning into maybe this is just particular feelings on styles of makeup, because Marcus says if this was ColourPop or any other drugstore brand, y'all would have read them to filth, but Natasha Denona y'all praise even though she's 3 times the price of ColourPop. I don't get y'all. I have seen a lot of people being over how much ColourPop does release, and they have been known, and I think it is pretty well known, that they'll discontinue something and then take some of the shades, rename it, rebrand it, and then put it back out as something else. All right, this side of my face is definitely still tackier. Not too bad, but pretty tacky that I'm gonna still want another powder, because over here with the brush, I feel like it is way lighter, as you can see, because the sponge side definitely has way more coverage whereas over here it's a lot lighter, a lot breezier. So you really could do the old glam makeup with this, or over here you could be a little bit more clean, fresh girl. But because of the primer I have, I'm gonna need a little bit more powder. Somebody else just said I got Urban Decay Honey flashbacks, so again, kind of recycled ideas. Someone else just gave us like upset grumpy face and then said, not another? How will I stay good and able to resist? She's nearly the only eyeshadow brand I wear. So that's another thing. Some people are just obsessed with a certain brand, and anytime something new comes out, that's how I felt for a long time about ColourPop. And then, as we know, they started churning out makeup like it was, well, literally their job, because it is, but you know what I'm saying. They started churning out makeup like crazy, and it got overwhelming. Ooh, somebody else just made a really good point about Natasha. I love how Natasha doesn't follow along trends. It really feels on brand for her. So in other words, she doesn't care that everybody's in the clean girl phase. This is who her audience is. They're glam. They want great formulas. They'll spend extra for that extra effort, that extra glam, that extra formula. And that's a great point. That also makes maybe her stand out amongst the other brands like Urban Decay and other things that are just feel like they're very much on repeat. And really have fallen off the mark, haven't they? Like some brands that used to be amazing diehard brands, we don't even talk about really anymore. Also, people are noting how this brand looks like it's always very inclusive. So there is that to be said for it as well. It's interesting just to see where people are with their mindsets as these, that's an expensive drop. So expensive, but they're less outraged about that and more outraged about e.l.f. and Wet n Wild. Isn't this interesting? Like as I dissect it, it's just blowing my mind. Jumping into the Smashbox Halo palette, I'm gonna dive over here into the bronzer just a bit. Carve out a little bit more here because I do think I covered up some of the cheekbones God forgot to give me when I put things over the top and had to kind of like layer up the powder to work with this. But look at this. I'm not looking super cakey, and I'm telling you, this makeup's gonna stay on all day because of this, but there are drawbacks to it as well, like I said, because you gotta powder a lot and then she lasts all day. There are also just certain high-end brands that I think people are just done with. I've been seeing this a lot on TikTok. Have been seeing it also on Instagram as well. I have to say, even I have said it publicly, I'm over the Jenner, Kardashian beauty brands. I feel like they are way too hot and cold. I think they've left a very bad taste in consumers' mouths considering how much of a boom they started off with. They also started off with a lot of high-end audacity is the only thing I can think of, because you all remember one of my bigger videos back in the day was like talking about how Kylie's brush set was like $365. It's gross to me. Because she didn't even like have a standing at that point, according to a lot of the makeup community. Like if it was like Tom Ford brushes, you'd get it. If they were some Wayne Goss brushes, you know, something like that, but they're not. And she was so new to the community that it just kind of felt like, okay. And now, honestly, their brands have gone through so much behind the scenes that we in the makeup community, the beauty community, have known about, that it just makes us feel icky, and honestly, I'm over it. Like, they just started some new drops, and nobody's interested. From what I can tell, there's a few that clearly are, that are still gonna be the Jenner, Kardashian fans. I am not one. I'm pretty honest about that. I'm not. About a week ago, Kylie Cosmetics dropped some new Kiss lip glazes, and the comments were not here for it though. Jumping back over here into the one size because I want to play with the rest of this. People asking, is this just reformulated, repackaged lip glosses? People saying yawn. Honestly, it doesn't even have that many interactions on it because I think truly people don't even pay it any mind. And honestly, that's how I feel about it. I'd rather not give it any of my attention. There's not even a lot of comments. People are just like, next, we're kind of moving on. Honestly, don't know how to approach this more shimmery shade in the OS palette, so I'm going to go in with a more stippled brush. This is just highlighter to me. I think we're going back to highlighter, you guys. Gotta get reused to having this kind of shine on my cheeks, because how many of y'all even use highlighter. Like, I'm sure some people do, but I don't even touch that part of my drawer, but I'm not getting rid of a lot, as you saw, because it's a core mind-changing memory for how I liked makeup at some point. So we could be going back to it. Look at this. This is new. Maybe I'll start talking about this also in like a blog soon. I guess I should announce it now. I still have some eyeshadow palettes to go, but I have a website. I have been really anxious, nervous about posting it because it's really just for you guys. It's just a little bit more information, another way to connect with you. It's not the Tati list or anything like that, so don't get excited or angry because I feel like that's also very polarizing in the makeup community right now, the Tati list, because it sounded like it was going to be a bunch of giveaways and maybe information into a new brand for her, and maybe it still will be eventually, but a lot of people are just like, I even had to unsub from it because she just kept telling me when she was uploading, and I'm like, I know when you upload. I'll watch it if I want to watch it. It just felt very like, I don't know, I didn't like how it felt. So this website isn't that. It's just another place for you to maybe read a blog with me, give you some of my ideas. Also a place to be able to have all of my discount codes for you guys should you ever need them, because I know sometimes I forget I have a discount code, or sometimes you may just be shopping not wanting to hunt down one of my videos to be like, oh yeah, I want to buy this from Ofra. What's a good code to have? So I was just going to have everything available for you guys in one easy little place. So I'll have that linked below. I'm a little like not wanting it to be too much of a big thing, but it is my website. So I used to have a website back in the day, and then I kind of let it die, but it was mostly for performance back in the day, and then I just kind of like let it go, and then I repurchased it. It's a whole thing. I don't know. If you want more details on it, I'll definitely let you know, but I do have a website, and maybe this will be a place that we could have more conversations just one-on-one. You could give me video ideas, things that you'd really like to see here on my channel. I'll have it linked below for you. That's another thing, is I just keep seeing a lot of people that do beauty YouTube like this, like you're watching right now, really either pushing for 2016 makeup to come back, because that is a comfort zone for a lot of us, and there is more makeup involved because makeup videos have become kind of stale. Beauty YouTube used to be just a different animal than it is anymore, and I've noticed some content creators trying to revive what was, or pivot really hard and do other things. So I am here, but I have been, as you guys know, doing some other things, lifestyle, talk to you guys about maybe adding some beach stuff to my videos, just because it's also something I have a huge interest in, not just because I want to pivot my platform, but also just bring you along on more of my life. The Ciate I Am Woman What's Your Superpower Volume 2 palette and the Let Your Heart Guide You palette that just dropped from Ofra on the 12th is new, and I'm going to be playing with this as well. And I don't know what you guys think about makeup community here on YouTube. Maybe for you it's the same as it was, you just watch as the trends change, or maybe you started pivoting to other types of content as well. Do you like this style of more giving you conversational type videos about the beauty community and our thoughts, or do you still just love reviews? Do you still want rankings? I know you guys have told me you would like some beachy vlogs every now and then, not all the time, but every now and then. And summer is coming. I'm so excited. Speaking of repeating products like we discussed earlier, I'm actually filming this probably the week before this video goes up. So keep in mind there's always going to be more releases between when I film this and when this is going to go up. That's been a constant issue for, honestly, content creators since it's gotten so crazy with all these releases, which is again why I'm like, are we on overload? I just saw that Makeup by Mario is releasing new soft sculpt multi-use bronzing and shaping serums. So I'm sitting here looking at it going, it's got a doe foot and it has a pump. It's got a shade range to it. And I'm just sitting here going, wait, is this similar to this but different? Is it similar to this but different? I don't know. It's a multi-use liquid bronzer that warms the complexion with a sun-kissed glow, softly shapes targeted areas. So that's the difference between, I guess, these, is it can be a little bit more shapely, but maybe a similar style product. I'm gonna see what the comments are saying, because it does feel in that similar vein. Again, we're talking shade ranges hardcore, and people are saying The deep dark is an even bronzer for the model. Why do we keep doing this in 2024? And then another person said nothing very fair or any deep shades. Some people are saying I want it. Some people are saying that it's so orange, not very fair. Some people are tagging Makeup by Mario and saying, so sad to see that the deeper babes will not be able to wear any of these shades. As much as we like to feel like we're progressed in 2024, I can also say I've been looking at trend mood way less. Not only do I think that the algorithm has been feeding it to me less, but I'm also definitely not missing it some days and seeking it out. I don't know if that is just a situation where maybe because I've been doing so many declutters this year that I'm like, okay, I'm not really ready to restock everything. I want to use what I have currently. Is that just the way of makeup these days where we don't care a lot about new releases as much? I'm just feeling like there's less comments too. There is a lot less comments when I'm looking into these things for you guys to see what's coming, to see if I'm interested, to see if you're interested, hear the feedback. There's just even a lot less conversation. There's a lot less feedback going on, and it makes me sit here and wonder, where is the beauty community at? Some of us are also just on that burnt out phase where we're just, I don't know. Tell me what you're thinking, because it just feels like, I mean, obviously it's not the same as it used to be. And maybe my coffee's not kicking in enough today to say something super eloquent, but I feel like we're tired. We're overwhelmed. Something has to be super amazing now to get us excited. It's kind of like in order to get that hit of dopamine anymore with makeup, it really has to be something special, something new, something that maybe we feel like we can't live without. And since there are so many repeat style products on the market, we're just kind of like, yawn, seen it, done it, move on. In the news of more skin tints dropping, Fenty just discussed that they have a new Hydra Visor SPF 30 dropping in very interesting components. It makes me wonder if there's going to be a lot of product in there, honestly. It just says it's coming soon. At the time, it's refillable, which I do like that option for makeup. I do want things to be refillable. Somebody else just said, weirdest packaging I've ever seen. Some people are saying they want more SPF. People are saying I want SPF 50 at minimum. Some people are saying, why are we still doing SPF 30 products? Oh, some people are also saying that Fenty needs to stop giving complexion products and give us something new. Again, are we stuck? Are we stuck? Is that why the makeup community is just not vibing like it used to? Packaging reminds me of a big pack of M&Ms, of the mini M&Ms. I'm dead. I'm so dead. I'm excited for this because the other skin tints were trash, and other people are saying that's what I keep hearing. So, as in like Fenty's other skin tints are trash? So far, nothing has beat Laura Mercier skin tints, but it's $40. And people are saying this is the innovation we've been looking for. Give us some skin tints, give us the SPF, and make it refillable so we have less waste. I love that idea. I wish more brands would be more fillable. I could imagine then people being like, oh, the packaging, so then things are gonna go up in price. Who knows? I have not been much into shimmers on the eyes lately, so I mostly used the matte shades in these, and they were pretty good, but I'm wanting to jump into another Ofra product. This is the highlighter in Beach, and since I already have on that blushy highlighter, I'm wanting to keep it nude because I feel like people miss colorful makeup, but I guess the brands out there are not missing colorful makeup because everything is really very nude, but it's also just been the vibe. I'm more simple with my eye looks lately, and that kind of leads me to another conversation of, is eyeshadow dead? And I already hear some of y'all in my ear being like, this is a beauty community. No. Never. It'll never be gone, but it does go in waves. We got the flux going, we got the waves going. I'm a beachy girl here, go with my vibes. It is more normal now to have maybe a one and done makeup, and that's why I'm sitting here looking at these bigger palettes, looking at them going, I just want to do something easy breezy and go, but something that's gonna last, that I can build up on the outer side if I want, but I don't want a lot of work. I used to spend, oh my gosh, how much time? What's the max amount of time you have spent doing your eye looks back in the day? Or even today, whenever. For me, it used to be like I could spend 30 to 45 minutes on an eye look. Just because that was my therapy, that was my fun. But now, I really want it to be simple. I'm not saying I did that every day, mind you, but now I just want it to be simple. I want it to blend well really quickly so I can move on about my day. I don't want to do too much. And that's when it's just kind of like eyeshadow, as much as like we're still loving, like Natasha Denona has her core audience that just still is like gonna shell out a lot of money for her stuff. Like we heard earlier, ColourPop that releases left, right, center and is way more affordable, they get dragged for all of their releases. Going to be trying the new Pacifica Dream Big Mascara. I showed you guys in the past how this wand is super revolutionary, because what it'll do is it'll get smaller if you're going for volume, and if you want length, you make it bigger. Isn't that so fascinating? The question is the formula gonna work with it? We shall see. Another new drop from Ofra is this gorgeous red lippy. This is their long-lasting liquid lipstick in the shade Cooking Con Omi. And I just realized there's another liquid bronzer that just dropped. And I am feeling the overwhelm now just looking through all of this with you guys. Say released a new Dew Bronze Soft Focus Effortless Liquid Bronzer. What? I'm trying to do this and talk to you and I can't. I get that it's summer. I get that. But it's also, it's the same stuff. No wonder we're feeling the fatigue of just the sameness over and over. It's Groundhog Day versus makeup. Like what? I'm trying to decide. Is this color giving like sexy vixen, or is it giving Miranda Sings? These are $25 with only 6 shades. Again, very limited shades. All right, I'm scared to see the comments, but now we have to. Oh, immediately. They had said that the summer makeup staple for their bag, and someone's like, hey team, this is not it. Please don't release this without enough shades for everyone. Why is this still a thing? Why? Why are we mad? It's 6 shades of bronzer, a bronzer. So many brands have like 3 or 4 max. And somebody replied, because there's none for dark skin. Somebody replied, there could have been 1 more lighter shade and 1 more darker shade. Not a very light shade for fair people and not a very dark shade for dark-skinned people. I've honestly never tried this brand, but I hear so much about it. I feel like I need to, but maybe this is not the move, especially since we also have so many options for liquid bronzers on the market. People want to know what the applicator looks like because they're not really showing much of the product, are they? People are saying immediately yes. Actually so hyped for this. People are also calling it like a contour. So are we contouring still? I mean, obviously earlier in this video, I kind of did. There is one more new release that I really want to put on my face because I honestly don't know if this is for me, but I'm really hoping that this summer it becomes my vibe. This is a new Ofra highlighter called Out of This World. It is so beautiful. It has that green hue to it, so you kind of get a little bit of that 420 alien vibe. Out of This World definitely gives you the alienness. Where I find this looks really great, because I know it's a highlighter and I have worn it on my cheeks, I find I really like it in here. I feel like that's going to give some mermaid vibes. Look how much it just opened up that eye. It's almost too much. I'm going to have to probably just take it down just a bit. But I want to hear from you guys to hear what is the makeup community for you right now. Are these new releases really working for you, or have we seen it before? Is it something that you're like, my collection is fine right now, it has to be super special for me to bring it in? Or are you still loving the idea of just the new releases? Where are you really at right now with your beauty community journey? Can I just say I'm so shocked that my face is not like super bunchy from this combination with this today. I really thought that this was not going to play well together. But this Natasha Denona, again, the formula's good. Is she pricey? Heck yeah, this is $55. I do have a code. Again, it'll be on my website, but it'll also be down below for you to save some money. And I did use my code on this because, oh my gosh, 55 bucks for a foundation is a lot for me. But so far it has worked beautifully with creams. It has worked beautifully with very bossy primers. It is just really nice. This side over here at the end of the makeup wear is a touch more coverage than this side because I use this side with a brush, this side over here with the sponge. But I think it all looks really beautiful. Really happy with it, but you can also see some glow. Yes, I do have on the glow from all other things, but I do think that the grip primer is going to grip this on all day. I have had really good success so far into May with the way summer's already showing up around here, and the makeup is lasting. End of day kind of thing. So is it sticky? Yes. Does it make the makeup grip? Heck yeah. The blush and all of its different features with the one size are really nice. So far, I'm really impressed. I do wish the color was a little different, but look at that glow that's not really grabbing to texture. She just looks very smooth, but she's like super blingy. Even the mascara I'm not mad at. I feel like the eyes look just fine. The formula in both of these palettes is really nice. I'm really shocked that this did not go crazy because it does not look like I have on too much. It did not deepen things up to a point nothing could go together. I know this is like a dupe, but I'm pleased. The reds, you gotta tell me, is the red, are we vampy? Are we giving some T-Swift? Are we feeling those Jessica Rabbit lips? Or am I just, I don't know, is it too much for me? I'm so curious where your head's at with the beauty community overall. What are you liking to watch? Give me your thoughts, because I feel like this was a very interesting deep dive into the comments on new releases and really where people's heads are at. Let me know all of your thoughts. That's why I do these videos every single week. I cannot wait to see all of your comments below and have us chat down below. If you missed my last video, I hope you check it out. I think you're really gonna like it. I'm giving you some really good deep dives on new releases that I have received, and I've got a lot of empties in there. So it's very much giving you the dirty details that so many of you guys tell me you love. And be sure to stay to the very end of this video so you see a sneak peek for next week's video. Bye, friends. One of the top things I'm going to tell you right away I no longer purchase is also the viralness of products, especially that have come from TikTok. I kind of don't trust a lot of those reviews, but it kind of hurts me to say that I'm not purchasing those anymore, and it just hurts on a more like sentimental level, not a I'm missing out kind of level.